This program is rated GE. Content carried in here is suitable for general family viewing.
Right. Good afternoon, and of course, many thanks for joining us this beautiful and amazing Saturday. Indeed, it's a very chilly Saturday, and of course, we are just right on time for this epic on the spot show. And of course, we have much and more lined up for you from the Kenya Simba's exploit in Uganda, and of course, that match has just ended. The clash between Kenya and Senegal, 36-17 in favor of Kenya. So remember, whoever the winner of this match will face the winner of the match between Algeria and Cote d'Ivoire in the semi-finals. So this is the quarterfinals of this 2024 Africa Rugby Tournament that is currently being held in Uganda. And of course, we'll be bringing you more in regard to that particular match and of course what awaits. Remember, this is just a preparation match and of course to improve the ranking of Kenya as far as the Africa ranking and the international rugby ranking is concerned. So this is the Kenya 15-a-side side that is taking part in this Africa, the 2024 edition of the Africa Rugby Tournament in Mandela Stadium in Uganda. And of course, it's something that you're following keenly and will bring you up to speed with the latest as far as this particular tournament is concerned. So this is the quarterfinals. Kenya has already booked a spot in the semis, and of course, they are waiting to see the winner between Algeria and Cote d'Ivoire for semi-finals, and whoever proceeds there will be marching all the way to the finals, and we wish our boys all the best. And that's not alone. Of course, remember, we still have a lot of activities. Next week on Friday, then the curtain will officially, the curtain will be raised on the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, and we have at least 81 athletes will be taking part in this 2024 edition of Olympic Games in France, that is in Paris in France. And we have a lot of intrigues and aspects. Remember, this comes at a time when Faith Kipyegon broke yet another record, and of course, question that many people are asking, will she maintain with the same trajectory? And she's eyeing two competitive matches. We have the 1500 meters and 5000 meters. Those are up for grab, and who knows, probably we might be talking of yet another history that will be broken. Remember, these two particular events, she already broke the record for this, the world record for these two events in the Diamond League, and you're waiting to see what will unfold in this Paris Olympic. Not forgetting the one and only, the fastest man in Africa, Ferdinand Omanyala, his exploit. Remember, in the world athletics championship in Budapest, Omanyala did not have that quite impressive outing. It was a very disappointing campaign for Omanyala, but this is another day for him to dream again and live up to the expectation. He has really been hitting the ground running with a lot of activities here and there, and of course just to try to keep fit in the training. And of course, we await to see what will happen. He faces a very fierce competition from the likes of the likes of Simbane. Then we have the likes of Badranrek in the same contention in this 100 meters crown in these Olympic Games that will be held in Paris on the 26th of July. And of course, we are trying to bring you up to speed, and of course, we'll be giving you some of the highlights. Remember, this particular Kenyan delegate to Paris had a lot of mix up and down as far as these two events are concerned. However, there is a list that is out in regard to this just for accountability purposes, and we'll be trying to explore that list and see who made it and who did not made it, and how does it help in terms of accountability. And that is yet what to follow. And don't forget the latest news that is many people are trying to come to terms with is the untimely resignation of England coach Gareth Southgate, who, after back-to-back defeat in the consecutive finals, he decided to call it a day at a very, on a sad note. But this is a reaction that has really, tried to bring some sort of, reaction from both divide, those who praise him and those who critique his style of leadership as far as, taking the England to the next level is concerned. So this is a coach that many people had pegged their hope on him to bring this England side. And at least after 50 years of waiting, of near miss, probably he'll bring the glory home. But as they said it, football is a game of, fairy tale. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not lucky. And apparently Gareth Southgate was not lucky. And he lived up to his promise. He said, should he lose this particular final, these Euros, then probably it will be time to call it a quit. And that is what exactly he did. And of course, is it a wise move? Do you think maybe he has achieved a lot as far as, guiding this England team is concerned? This is a team that is there's a team that was composed of very young and talented squad with a couple of experienced players. But regardless of that, then Spain got the better of them. And that is what happens normally in football. And there's no, hard feelings, no, big story out of it, but it's just normal, but it's happening. Anyway, so these are some of the, highlights and the intrigues that we have lined up for you. And of course, we'll be taking a look at this later on. But first thing first, I want to take you through some of the news that we have just, pinpointed and highlighted for you to make and form the basis of our discussion and, of course, this show today. All right, so let's begin with the latest. Now, Tusker FC head coach Robert Matano has left the club after 6 years with the Brewers. The high-achieving coach, whose contract ended but failed to renew, led Tusker FC to 3 football Kenya Federation Premier League titles before leaving unceremoniously. Matano was first appointed as Tusker FC coach in 2012 before leaving a year later and returned to Tusker again in 2018. Matano had previously won the KPL crown with Sofapaka in their maiden season in top-flight football. Matano's exit from Tusker was always going to be a matter of when rather than if, after several incidents of disagreement within management board on several club policies. Right, so apparently Patrick Matano has left Tusker FC after a very stint and good campaign with Tusker, and of course we wish him the very best of luck. But remember, this is a coach that for many will remember him for his the final last minute grip on title. He will really push to the very maximum limit, and that's what Matano did for Tusker. And of course, now moving on from Matano departure now to some very intrigue. Now, Principal Secretary for Sports Peter Tum and the National Olympic Committee of Kenya President Paul Tergat have released the public at least the list of 161 delegates traveling to France for the Paris Olympics this July. The team is composed of 3 government officials and 124 athletes, including coaches and managers, physiotherapists and doctors, as well as 26 international appointed technical officials and referees, 3 umpires and 5 representatives of Olympic family. The list was released following demands for accountability of public funds after a report emerged that there were jeopardy who planned to travel, or rather joyriders who planned to travel on government expenditure emerged. All right, so after many questions of now the list being made public, finally, the Ministry of Sport, in conjunction with the NOC, decided now to release the list 161 delegates to represent Kenya. They say this is just one way of bringing the whole question into public and try to bring trust in what many have termed as the fading trust in how the affairs of this Olympic Committee is being run. And remember, we have a total of 81 athletes who will be representing Kenya in the Paris Olympic Games. We have at least 43 coaches. We have 5 members of Olympic Committee. Then we have 26 members of management team and 3 head of delegation, making the list to be a total of 161 officials, that is delegates, that will be carrying Kenyan flag in Paris Olympic. Now from Olympic, now let's move on to London Diamond League. Now, African bronze medalist in the 5,000 meters Cornelius Kemboi has shifted his focus to Saturday's London Diamond League after failing to make the cut to represent Kenya at the Paris Olympic Games that is set to kick off on the 26th of July in London, United Kingdom. Kemboi finished 5th at the Olympic trials held last month, missing out narrowly in the 5,000 meters men's category. Kemboi will lead Team Kenya in the men's 3,000 meters, making his second Diamond League appearance of the year after a 6th place finish in China on April 20th. Kemboi will face fierce rivalry from 2022 World 3000 meters under 20 champion Melkene Aziza of Ethiopia alongside Netherlands Mike Popin and US Grant Fisher. Right, and for the lovers of Diamond League, and to be precise, the London Diamond League, and of course, there is that particular races will be happening today, and of course, Kemboi will be hoping to bounce back after a very disappointing outing at the Nyayo National Stadium during the Olympic trials, and of course, we'll be wishing for him all the best as he endeavor to bring glory to Kenya. Now, let's switch gears to rugby. The National Rugby Men's 15-a-side team, Kenya Symbols Rugby Team, landed in Uganda, and of course they have just participated their first match of this quarterfinals of the Rugby Africa tournament, and of course they won 36-17 against Senegal in the ongoing Africa Rugby Tournament, the 2024 edition. Kenya will now await the winner between Algeria and of course Cote d'Ivoire to progress in the semi-finals, and eventually, if they are lucky, book a ticket in the finals. And of course, this, remember, is in line to rank the standard of Kenya in this global arena as far as the ranking of the rugby is concerned. And of course, we'll be following keenly to see how the event will unfold and how the team will actually, perform. If they will carry the title, that is remain to be seen. And of course, we're still waiting for the clash between Algeria and Cote d'Ivoire to see how the event will unfold. And Kenya, of course, will be eager to know their next opponent. Now, let's switch gears now to some football action. Now, football, Kenya Federation Premier League champions Gor Mahia and FKF Mozart Bet Cup champions Kenya Police FC and Harambee Stars will now host their AFCON, that is Africa Cup of Nations, home matches at Nyayo and Kasarani Stadium. This is after the Africa Football Governing Body, CAF, approved the Nyayo and Kasarani Stadium. The two stadiums had earlier been closed for renovation but failed to meet the stipulated standards on time for Kenya vs Cote d'Ivoire March 2026 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers.
Nyayo and Moi International Stadiums will host the AFCON as well as the CAF Confederation slated for this August. The two stadiums had earlier been blacklisted after failing to meet FIFA standards, despite being closed for renovations early in 2023. The latest CAF inspection tour earlier this week approved the progress made so far, with Nyayo Stadium expected to be completed within the next 4 weeks. The PS who accompanied the team that has been in the country since Friday last week identified critical areas of concern at the Nyayo Stadium, being changing rooms, floodlights, scoreboard, and the drainage system, and the improvement of the media center from level 2 to level 3. Sports Permanent Secretary Engineer Peter Tum assured Kenyans that the contractors are progressing well and Nyayo will be 100% ready in about 4 weeks, ensuring that Gor Mahia, Police FC, and Harambee Stars will therefore play their matches at home. This comes barely 2 months after Harambee Stars were forced to play their 2026 World Cup qualifier match against Burundi and Ivory Coast at the Bingu National Stadium in Lilongwe, Malawi, due to a lack of approved facility, creating uproar among Kenyan fans and football stakeholders. The refurbishment of the stadiums are being undertaken by China Road and Bridge Corporation, who are also charged with constructing 4 training venues and 2 stadiums in readiness for the 2027 African Cup of Nations, which Kenya will co-host with Uganda and Tanzania. For KUTV Sports, I'm Sam Metiaki.
Right, I know many people are asking, so what does it take for a stadium to meet the CAF and FIFA standard? Well, when you look at the Nyayo Stadium and Kasarani Stadium, it's beautiful. No doubt about that. However, there is some set criteria that a stadium should follow. And one of them, the FIFA standard, which is grass or synthetic turf that is approved by FIFA. That is one of the qualification of which, obviously, Nyayo and Kasarani Stadium met those. Then we have adequate lighting. Now, on that part of lighting, that is where we have some sort of problem. And of course, that is what Kenya was apparently working on. Then we have at least seating capacity, that is the seating capacity of at least 5,000. And of course, out of those 5,000, at least 1,000 should be fitted with seats. And Kasarani and Nyayo Stadium, of course, pretty tick on that one. Then we have another very procedure that is very key. That is procedure in place to detect fire outbreak. This is in cases of emergency where maybe a fire might occur in some instance. Then we need to have those mechanisms in place so that those early detection can be actually pinpoint at an early stage and prevent any accident that may occur in future. And those are some of the very critical areas that a stadium and that you need to pay attention before you even construct any stadium. And of course, we have another one that is very key, that is venue operation center. In line with this, at least every stadium should have a venue operation center where you can monitor everything that is happening inside the stadium in terms of terror, security, talk about fire, everything in between, so that you can make sure the safety of players, fans, and even technical bench are catered for. And those are some of the very critical aspects and areas that you need to pay attention when you are constructing a stadium. Then we have the obvious one, the seating capacity. Now this comes in terms of the category of stadium. We have the 60,000 capacity seater, 20 in regard to that, all the way narrowing down to 5,000 capacity. And those are very critical areas that a stadium should meet. And it's funny that we miss on this very important area as far as stadiums are concerned. And just a disclaimer, this does not mean that Kenya has already meet the required standard as far as hosting the AFCON matches. Remember, this we're just talking about the qualifier matches, but when it comes to hosting, then we have quite a lot of things that we need to work on, and this approval is only extended to the qualification matches and of course the international matches that Kenya will be holding. As far as the World Cup qualifier is concerned, then we talk about the African Cup of Nations, talk about the domestic tournament, like let's say the Kenya Police will be taking part in the Africa Confederation Cup, and of course there are qualifiers matches and of course there are knockout matches, and every competitive match that will be held here in Kenya will be staged at Nyayo and Kasarani Stadium. So that CAF has given Kenya a okay nod on that. However, when it comes to the 2027 African Cup of Nations, now that's another story, another set of standards that we need to meet. And of course, remember, constructions are underway. We have at least 4 stadium earmarked for this particular tournament. That is, we have the Kipkeino Stadium in Eldoret, we have the Nyayo National Stadium, we have the Nyayo Stadium, we have the Kasarani Stadium, and now the Talanta Hela Stadium that is currently under construction. Time will come for inspection for that, and of course to see if Kenya have really meet the standard. So that is just to draw the distinction between what is required as far as international matches are concerned, and of course when the standard that is required for CAF, for Kenya to hold CAF. Those are 2 different areas. All right, now so from that CAF, now let's switch to the England. And of course, the England's head coach, that is Gareth Southgate, tendered his resignation following the heartbreaking Euros 2024 final defeat at the hands of Spain. This was the second back-to-back Euros final defeat since replacing Sam Allardyce in September 2016. Southgate also guided England to the World Cup 2018 semi-finals and crashing out in the quarterfinals in the last edition of 2022 World Cup in Qatar. This defeat to Spain saw England become the first team in history to lose consecutive Euros finals, with Southgate the only manager to ever lose 2 finals in a row. All right, so that particular the last part of Gareth Southgate the statistics and even the history itself is not kind to Gareth Southgate. Remember, he has a history of the finals. During his playing time, he lost, and actually he misfired a penalty that could have proved to be a game changer, and of course, as a result of that, England lost. And until that time, there has been some sort of this bad blood with Gareth Southgate when it comes to finals. He redeemed himself in Qatar 2018 during the penalty shootout with Colombia. However, the recent outing for him, 2 consecutive final defeat, has been really pain and hard pill for him to swallow, and that's why no wonder he tendered his resignation at a very unceremonious time, when majority of people would have thought that this is quite an achievement, a milestone for a coach to actually take part in 2 finals in a row. Well, but the history in that, it's quite alarming and heartbreaking for him, and that will be forming the basis of our question of the day. Remember, we are asking a very simple question. So what are some of the Gareth Southgate achievement? Do you think he has some of achievement? Do you think he has achieved anything since taking the mantle of leading England? And of course, talk to us on all of our social media platforms. And just open, you can talk to us on Facebook at KUTV Kenya. You can talk to us on Twitter at KUTV_Kenya, on YouTube at KUTV Kenya. You can tweet me personally at Auma Evans. And of course, we'll be sure to sample all of your feedback. Talk to us. What do you think? Do you think he has achieved anything since taking the mantle? Well, let us know what you think. And of course, we'll be taking a very short break. When we come back, we have a very interesting guest. We'll be talking to us about matters to do with Soccer Academy. He's the founder of Millennial Soccer Academy, but that's not alone. He's the national head coach of Olympic High School. Remember, this is a team that when you talk about Olympic, now the most recent performance that comes in mind is the recently. I'm talking about as recent as last week. This is the secondary schools games, and of course we'll be taking intrigue into that and see their contribution, how these particular games are helping to mold sportsmen in the country. We have the likes of Adrian Kibet, who is now training in Spain, and of course now this, when you talk about such games and of course their contribution and what they are doing to the future footballers in the country. And of course, it will be a very interesting discussion that we'll be taking a look at, and of course, invite you to even send in your contribution as regard to this particular very interesting conversation that we'll be having about Sports Academy, and of course, we'll be touching a bit of the national schools game, of course, the schools game competition. Of course, this is the second term they are currently undergoing. Remember, we are now transversing now to the next stage, now the nationals. We have seen the big wigs being, outgunned by very teams that many people will not have, expect they'll make this quite enormous and huge step as far as claiming the dominance of the secondary schools game is concerned. And of course, that discussion will be coming to you in just a while. See you in a bit.
Climate change threatens traditional agriculture. Unpredictable weather patterns and poor farming practices endanger food safety and security.
A lot of soil has depleted its fertility right now, and the more you add fertilizer, the more acidic the the soil become.
One innovation stands out: hydroponic farming in greenhouses where nutrient-rich water replaces soil, enhancing growth and reducing environmental impact.
Like hydroponics is just like soilless farming. So here we're using pumice. Our pumice is an inert media. It doesn't have any elements, any minerals at all.
Join me, Kimani James Baraka, this Sunday at 6:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. on Agribusiness as we explore how hydroponic greenhouse farming is transforming agriculture. Only on KUTV.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
Folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepo pasi vuguvugu. Pepo pa ni idea.
Tazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaweza kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni Dunia ni leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audiovisual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Tunachimba hadi mizizi kuletea yanayojiri.
So mimi naomba tu serikali yetu ya Mungu, jibarikiwe na Mungu, iweze kuteremsha bei ya mafuta.
Yanayokukumba tuna maizi, tunakutetea sisiri. Kwa kweli ni speciali tukikupambia makala ya mwanamke mwake. Utasema hupendi mizizi ya habari. Nami Caroline Kimweli.
Get ready to embark on a journey into the exciting world of technology as we uncover the latest trends, interview top thought leaders, and dive deep into the world of tech like never before.
Currently, we are facing the challenge in terms of finance. It requires one to move from different counties because we really need a large data set for our model to be more accurate.
In this new and exciting series of the Technovation Show, join me, Yvonne Kimuma, every Monday 8:30 p.m. for a fun and thrilling experience as we explore the cutting-edge developments, meet visionaries driving change.
Somebody who is in the underground mine doesn't know the presence of those gases. So there are a lot of gases involved. There is methane, there's carbon monoxide, and there's also hydrogen sulfide. These gases actually, they are very dangerous and they're very toxic.
And discover the endless possibilities of the tech world.
Are you healthy, or rather, do you maintain a healthy lifestyle? According to WHO, health is regarded as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. Welcome to Focus on Health, a show on all matters health, wellness, and lifestyle. On this show, we cover a wide variety of topics inclusive of, but not limited to, dental, optical, mental, reproductive health, and so much more. Join me, Joy Bofenda, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on KUTV for compelling insights and discussions on all matters health. See you then.
Focus on Health, your weekly dose of health and wealth information on KUTV.
They are powerful and influential. They make decisions in politics, education, finance, agriculture, health, sports, and all aspects of human life. But the impact of their decisions falls on you, the common citizen. KUTV Primetime News Thursday. We ask bold questions and pursue answers to the core to bring you closer to the story. We couldn't have it any other way. Join me, Auma Evans, as I raise matters of social concern to raise your voice from the background to the foreground. Every Thursday and Saturday at 9 p.m. only on KUTV.
Oh, babu ka ready?
Alright guys, poleni sana for being away. Continue tapping on the screen. Hello mom.
Tukusanya kiresiba uruji sevu.
Nakupenda. Hizi tabia zako tu fulani wazi nyumbani.
Mom, mimi hata ni kama nashikwa na depression. I'm going through a lot right now.
Kuna confusion imehappen. Angalia hii umba confusion ni unaambia demu yangu ni mzunye.
Hebu ngoja.
Ama nani anazaa? Ama za kunaweza we kusha. Hiyo nao kusha.
What are some of the ways through which you can develop these skills so that you are comfortably fitting into the job?
You have to put yourself in positions where you are uncomfortable. Uncomfortable in the sense that you're not clear about what to do.
Because I used to work a corporate job before. So when I left, I happened to visit someone's farm around this area.
So this project is called Security Breach Detector and Organized Familiarize. It is meant to be used to detect, detonate explosives.
We'll tackle all the tough issues, discuss all the weird moments, and hopefully share a few laughs along the way.
Right, welcome back, and now this is the second segment of On the Sports Show, and of course, just like I told you, I have a very amazing guest here, Frederick Onyango. He is the founder of Millennia Soccer Academy, and of course, at the same time, he doubles up as Olympic High School head coach. And of course, this is quite a very interesting discussion when you see young people taking the mantle of making sure that they shape other young people to be very, professional footballers and in any sports. and this is quite very encouraging and very instrumental. And of course, let me not try and pump a lot, but to just get some intrigue and of course insight from the one and only Frederick. And of course this is the time. Asante sana for making time.
Shukran. Yes.
Well, me kwanza, when you talk about the football and where we are going, and of course wewe mwenyewe as a very young coach, first of all, like, talk to me, like, nini ilikumotivate kwanza, and of course you have a very interesting background, and tell us, like, your background, then sudden switch to now taking this the role of football coach, ukaachilia ile kitu yenye ulikuwa umepursue in life.
Okay, naweza sema first of all thanks for kuninvite hapa, na naweza sema football sijui niseme it was a calling. So growing up ni kitu moja nilikuwa napenda, na nikajipata kwa ile situation kufika high school. Unajua sisi nenda shule ya Ocha, na ukiona hizi game za shule watu wako Ocha kidogo, ukiona mwili zao na umetoka Nairobi kidogo kijoin form 1 vinatoshana. So being that nilikuwa naipenda kwenda huko, nikapatana pia na hizo mwili kidogo kagongwa pale, injury hapa na pale. Nikaamua kuiacha, but kitu ilizidi kunidrive nilikuwa na the passion in that football, so sikutaka kuiacha na hapo. So nikaamua kupush on, na after hapo nikaona the best thing ni, but like, so being that sitakuwa an active player, why can't I just be an active footballer from the touchline? So nikaamua from that ku enter into coaching. Yes. So when you unasema the question pia nishaiulizwa a lot. Okay, personally I'm a degree holder. I graduated from Kenyatta University in journalism and media communication. So somebody aliniuliza like, ilijipata aje journalist akajipata kwa touchline ya ball? So nasema football pia ni wide, ndio maana iko the round. Hiyo round inamaanisha the world. So kila mtu bora uko tuna the passion. So inakuwa iko believed anybody can do it. So bora tu umepata the teachings, the training, the skills uko nayo, you are good to go. Yes.
All right, talking about the teaching, the training, and of course the skills. Well, I understand, like, of course, where you began from a very basic level in terms of this coaching career, and I'm talking about now the skills that you were equipped with the very relevant bodies, FKF, in association with CAF. And this CAF-D coaching, we have seen a lot of very vigorous initiative encouraging grassroots coaches like you, very established coaches, to actually enroll for these classes. So Ebu, try to shed some lights into this and how important and instrumental it is as far as, nurturing young talents.
Okay, so what I can say is that this CAF-D, it's good, but nowadays it somehow kind of lose meaning yake na value, because everybody, so unapata nowadays hata mafan, everybody just want to do that CAF-D. So mistake inatokea venye the moment ilikuwa people do pay for it, but as long as you have that money, so anybody feels like anazaenda, na after that CAF-D, so mtu ana feel kama he or she can own you, being that ana feel like akona the skills, akona the passion ya hiyo ball, so ana feel kama the training akona, so ana feel kama as a coach, as long as amekaa hapo kama fan, he or she thinks that under control because he has the basic knowledge, but that's not all. Kuna the football part na kuna the technical part. So na mtu kama mimi, I've been trained, kuna the technical part which I was trained last year at Rwanda by Ambassador Football Club. Then kuna the football part, the football skills part of it. So in football world kuna hizi training, kuna the football part, the practical training, and then kuna the technical training. Bado kuna safeguarding training yenye nafaa who player ameumia, what safety measures can you take? Yeah.
And is it, na hii ni swali yenye watu wengi wamekuwa kuuliza, like is it a must for me to be called a qualified coach? Does this CAF D, CAF B, CAF C, CAF A, you know, license and certificate, does it really count at the end of the day, or is it the skills and you mean bring to the field that in a matter?
Personally, I can say this. Okay, to me, I'll go with the skills you are bringing, because we have many talented coaches. They are bringing different. Then ukiangalia kuna people wenye wako CAF B level, CAF C level, but ukienda kwa training zao, the drills they are doing seems like hata wewe mwenye hujafanya, you can be something different. The only thing as I sema ni just be that role model, be that leader, and then equip these kids ama these people you are training with skills. That's all they want. If you keep them well, they'll consider you as a coach. But unaweza kuwa na that license, that training, but what you're offering the table is different from that what the other person is offering. Just tell me the license is lazima ukuwe nayo, yes, but utapata most, kwanza CAF D, higher percentage wako nao, but in terms of football, zero knowledge. Yes.
Talking about now, you know, the zero knowledge and this CAF D, the essence of this is to nurture young talents, and actually this is dedicated to grassroots coaches. Well, what you're doing is nurturing talents at a very basic grassroots level. And now let's talk about now this level of nurturing young talents, and that's why you have the soccer academy. So the idea and of course the mission lazima ikue imeshikana.
Yes.
But sasa kuna the story behind that.
I can say, okay, personally mimi venye umeisema, mimi nakuanga na one motive, na motive yangu nakuanga working with the young age, just to nurture them. Ukiangalia most coaches, especially in our country, hii part ya kunurture, they fear a lot. So they like the ready made. So nasema the Millennium Soccer Academy was established this year simply because kulikuwa na 1, 2, 3 with the previous academy that we were. So the best thing, the mdosi hatukuweza patana hiyo part, but sasa hii part ya kunacha talent. So unajua me as a coach nakuanga na my own principles. So nikieka I want to nurture this group of people. I love to go with it until the end. Ni kama nachukua ni kama yai. Na take care of it mpaka nione nimeachieve goal yake. So ukieka mi na niko na my partner anaitwa Chris, coach Chris, tukamua tuanze yetu with main goal being nurturing of that talent. So plan ni we see talent sa inalipa, talent inalipa school fees. So ukiangalia most of the kids tuko nao, tunaangalia the background. So tunaona if we help develop these talents, then at least a scholarship ikuje. That one will be a plus to us as a coach, to the parent, and to the kid, him or herself. So plan ni we develop, but we must nurture to make sure that when I'm giving the world this product, it must be something concrete, something yenye si ati nitakuja naambia ati round ulindanganya, ulinipea wezi, but nataka nikupe kitu yenye in future msemanga wengi utaona kwa TV. Yes.
All right. And umeongea about mention about the selection criteria, because apart from mention about the background, so is there specific target, a group of players when you maybe muna recruit, or how does the recruitment process looks like?
So hatuwezi kuwa ati tumekanga limitation in recruitment process. Our doors are always open for anyone as long as we start with under 5 tunaenda mpaka under 16. So unajua basically ukiona 16 or tuseme the minimum unafaa kuwekwa academy. Ukienda kwa under 17, that one is like a youth team. So kwa youth team utakuwa unadanganya mtoto ati yako 17 bado umeweka kwa academy. 17 release him or her to the world. Aenda patane na watu rikaki huko. Jukiana mtu kama the previously concluded Euro Jamal Musiala, if Barcelona angemua bado anataka acheze huko youth team, unaona the world ingekuwa inajua who he is. So the best thing inakuanga ni train this kid as from under 5, mfundishe ball, grow na yeye, ajue hizi skills, everything, the language, the football part of it, everything. Akifika 16 then give him or her to the world, at least anze kuona the sense of competition. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now kuna another very key aspect. Unajua ukiongea about training, then kuna sasa hawa ni ukiangalia the age under 5 to 16 very active in school, I'll say that. So training huwa inaanza saa ngapi hivyo and how does it look like kwa during these school working days, I mean?
So kwa our under 5 to 16 training basically inakuanga on Saturdays and Sundays. So Saturdays is from 11 to 1, then on Sundays that's from 2 to 4. So Saturdays 11 to 1 simply because mmoja mtu mdogo akili yake kwanza ina work only 20 minutes kwanza under 5 akili yake iko tu hapo na wewe the first 20 minutes. So the best way ni mtafute asubuhi before akili choke. Akili yake kisha choka mpe tu sasa match. So if ulikuwa kufanya kitu na yeye fanya within this 20 minutes. Which usipofanya just know you won't have this guy. So make sure by that time after hapo mpe match, wanakwanga more into match. Na tuseme kwa under 5 au basically under 5 under 9 they just want to go home tired. Then ukikuja kwa let's say under 11 13 16 also a next step in your training. So hapo mostly unaanza kuwa on systems maybe, yeah, but not those complicated ones. Yenye tu ni aje anafaa kujua I need to pass this side, then I follow my pass. I need to this my movement on and off the ball. So trainings inakuanga Saturdays and Sundays. Sundays ni afternoon simply because during the day we are giving room for wale wanapenda kanisa waende church, then warudi fresh training, tumalize 4 aende oge afanya homework kwa amefanya, then akili focus, then shule ikifungwa ndio sasa tunakuwa na midweek training juu tunataka ku involve because hata to you know the young age ukiwacha kidogo tunaweza kuwa na a new crop of Gen Z so wamekuja sasa tena waanze kutu control. So ni wa involve kwa kitu wanapenda. So unapata of schools shule zikifungwa ni ku create days za ku train within. So unapata kama ni Tuesday, Thursday and Saturdays. Yeah.
Talking about the new wave of Gen Z, well, beside now the technical aspect where I want to train about the skills and the physical mentality and your strength on how to use the basics knowledge like to pass the ball. However, now beside this, what else unaweza sema like ni very advantageous for any parent probably, I mean, to watch right now and I feel like okay, I need to enroll my son or daughter to any football academy, like for example let's say you're a millennial. So beside this, what is we'll call the on-field skills, what else is there? Some sort of off-field advantages and maybe this child and as a partner to join these soccer academies?
Besides on-field, I can say another good thing a coach wanna train you on is the life skills part of it. So you have to teach these kids life skill, the discipline. Umejua besides school, besides home, so ni wewe ako na wewe. When he's not at school, when he or she is not at home, ako na wewe hapo. So one, lazima mfunze the discipline part of it, because discipline is key. Football is all about discipline. Two, senafaa mfunze like easy life skills. Kwanza life skills ndio inakuwa targeted sana. So the kid lazima juu growing up, this is wrong, this is right. I need to do this, I don't need to do this. This is my elder, I need to respect, I need to do this when he or she is around. So I can say as millennium pia tunakuanga tuna emphasize on academics. That one is hiyo kwanza hiyo part mimi nakuanga nimeshikilia sana. Academics, because mimi usema football inakuja number 2, but we must angalia which one it comes first. In case how uko na talent, what if talent yako backfire? Do you have a plan B? If yes, I have a plan B, what brings this plan B? It's academics. So then tuko in a country yenye yes football inalipa, but who do you know? Kwa hiyo football world. So unaweza kuwa talent yako inalipa, but kitambo upate mtu anakushika mkono mpaka hapo juu. Utakuwa umefight your way through. So before ukifight, you must have something yenye inakulipia rent. Hiyo ni kama ni mzazi, kama ni a kid growing up, lazima mweke kwa hiyo akili yake ajue football itakuwa, but lazima ujue masomo itakuwa number 1 daily.
Na what if kama mimi tu mimi niko too talented, as in tu mimi future kwa vitabu na sioni juu kuna watu wenye future hadi wanakwambianga masomo si kiatu utavaa msee, umeget? Yani hao wanatambua talent ndio kila kitu.
So angalia kwa nchi
priority.
Okay, atukao pia tunapea priority, then the best thing ni unajaribu kumuingiza kwa system. Anze kujua the value of education. Usimuingize tu haraka ati unamrush. Anza kumleta karibu, associate na watu wanapenda hii masomo, anze kuona there is something important in this. Mpe like real life example. Mtu kama mimi kwanza mimi naambianga wangu wengi, mimi hata nawapeanga example kama uniamini na upedi shule nilisoma both kutoka primary enda na watuma dikiambia enda kwa ofisi, enda kwa hiyo ofisi room number tafuta, utanipata huko. So anze kujua like if this somebody ako hivi, pia mimi naweza kuwa hivi. Juu footballers wengi kwa nchi yetu wana believingi like akiwa na hiyo talent then naoni value ya vitabu, but kuna hiyo value ya hiyo kitabu.
Na wengi wanaweza argue it's because masomo ni juu ndio upate kitu. Talanta upate kitu. So unaona like unaona ni gani uko, unaona ni gani unaona like au struggle. Kama wewe msewe kazi tu ni let a ball kick kitu, uta focus wapi?
Sawa. Au pia nataka tu reason tuangalie kwa nchi yetu teams ngapi zinaweza lipa. Unaona, tuanzie hapo. Then na talent yako unaweza make kwa hiyo team how fast. Kama unaona bado uko far, which is the best way? Ni mbaya sana tiyo talent yako tuione kwa mjengo.
Futa.
Zati hiyo talent yako. Sasa ulikata kitabu, futa imebounce uko kwa mjengo. Unaona, si ati nadharau mjengo, but iko fine, ni kazi. But sasa ulikuwa na chance ya kumake it right, ukamini talent yako. Then kwa football tusisahau anything is going to happen, injury inaweza kuja. Then after hapo life sasa imeharibika. Does it mean that that's the end of life? No. We still push. You had something, ulikuwa na plan B, academics. Push na academics.
Okay.
Yes.
So hiyo plan B yako iko sawa, football inaweza bako. Lazima kuwe na backup plans, ndio? Isikue tu like kuna wale wanasemanga for us God is our plan A, plan B. Akifail ni hivyo, we are doomed.
One thing nazapenda kwanza makocha sasa, tujaribu ku-encourage. Kuna hii motive imewekwa ati footballers na vitabu wapati footballers na discipline kidogo. Ni sisi sasa kwanza the new crop yenye tunaletea dunia. Tujaribu kwa to change the narrative. To give the world ile nini yenye mtu ana feel footballers wanaanza kuwa something else. Juu tuangalie tu situation ya nchi yetu, ya state of football ya nchi yetu. Na tupeane tu support, tuambie tu apenda kuambia watoto ukweli.
Lakini now that umedraw hiyo comparison, unajua academy mingi especially za majuu ama jamaa kitu yenye unajua ni unaenroll pale, unafunzwa futa, kukua ule msemo noma mbaya sana, kuscore mabao, kushine, alafu do inakam. Mbona Kenya ama mbona ni ngumu sana Kenya kufollow that suit? That ndo kama na tuko na CBC. CBC ni in-identify wewe unaweza kuwa yuko smart kwa masomo, lakini futa uko na kanyota, ni uende ushainishe nyota. Mbona academy kama hizi amwezi shainisha nyota? Unaambia sasa kweni na plan B. Don't you think maybe sasa ni it's about time sasa tuanze kuchange discussion na narrative? Sasa tuanze kufocus on wewe kaa nyota yako ni kukick ball. Buda, learn how to kick ball the best way you can.
That's a good one. Naweza sema majuu, difference yetu na majuu ni simple. Majuu kuna ile path. Mtoto anazaliwa kama path yake ishatengenezwa. That's why andakuwa engineer, atapelekwa, atafunzwa hiyo the engineering part of it. Andakuwa footballer, atakuwa enrolled in the best academy na itapay. Atukuje kwetu. Kwetu kwanza CBC imeanza lini? Unaona? Then kwa hiyo CBC the people wanafunza tuseme the aspect of your football. Tuseme shule. Si ndio? Are they trained coaches? Ama ni mwalimu? Kuna siku mimi nimeenda, nilikuwa in school, naona venye basketball wanatrainishwa na the teacher kuna kitabu ana mark like ameita mtoto sawa, amepanga line, unakuja unarusha, anaweka tick. Hata kama yajui venye, hata ukifuatilia mwalimu anajua sheria za basketball, no. But somebody somewhere amekaa kijua this school X wana the basketball part of it iko perfect. But is it true? No. So mtoto anajuanga yeye ataitwa, then ila amefunzwa topic ilikuwa basketball, ameenda amerusha, kesho ako volley, aende tu anajua volley anafaa kusimama hivi, hivyo yako perfect. Then the CBC pia anasema pia si ati ina change, pia the thing I change ni tujue tuko na sports facilities ngapi, academy ngapi zenye zinafunza hiyo part. Sasa tunajua mtoto anapenda ball, muenroll kwa sports facility. Ikwetu like hiyo ndo shule yake, akwange akigrow hapo, hizi teams zetu ziende hapo. Then kitu ingine pia na tu differentiate na majuni, sisi tunaendea, sijui niseme tunaendea leaders ama tunaendea managers. Si waja tunaendea watu wenye wanapenda hiyo kitu.
Kitu gani?
Hiyo kitu, tuseme kama sports. Watu wanapenda hiyo sports. Then umse ajui anything inahusu the sports. Yeye anaipenda. So ana believing from outside I can change this. Ukiangalia majuu, this is somebody that has been part of that. Anajua system inafaa kuwe hivi. This is what needs to be done. Atafanya hivyo, anda kuchange. Sisi side yetu tuko na people wenye wanaipenda but wataki kunini. Kama ukishajipatanga umeingia ndani, sijaijua nini nakuanga tu ndani ya hizi leadership ya Kenya. Mtu akishaingia all of a sudden everybody ana change. Yes.
And unajua by the way unachimba tu shida na uko na academy, na uko na power and you are young. But so the question is vitu zote, because at the end of the day hatuwezi kuwa tuna have discussion about the problems yenye tuko nazo without providing solution. Uko na academy and probably maybe the first question ningekuuliza ni what is the aim of the academy? Ni nini una aim ku achieve at the end of the day? Do you want, maybe umeniambia like you want it to be different, so do you want to follow the path of the existing academy when you are join the bandwagon of Book of Lamentation? Do you want maybe to lamentate, or what is the plan? How do you maybe plan to not to fall in the same trap?
I have a difference to me. Just be different from the others. How will you be different? You just know that these are my people. I need to do this. Nishako kwa field. Na I'm happy the coach pia mwenye niko naye, makochi niko nao na involve huko washakuwa kwa field. Kwanza solution one inafaa kuwe if kunaweza kuwa na unity among Kenyan teams, I believe things inaweza change. Wanakaa sahi personally niko sure the dream niko nayo ndo dream ile academy next iko nayo. Everybody anakuanga na dream ya kufanya mtoto wake akuwe perfect. But kuna that force yenye inafinyanga watu mahali. Kwa force ikifika sasa tumefika hapo, kuna wale atataka kujipendekeza. So tunafanya aje ndio asijipendekeze? Ni bring mtu kwa table, mwambie hapa inafanywa hivi na hivi. Then to agree. Tukiamua tunaenda na hii one word, tuite the concerned people kwa meza. Tuambie like this and this needs to be done. So nipsi to push. Ndio maana sasa nikaa nchi yetu yote inapenda kitu jenzi wamedu.
Na by the way, now that kuna like some sort of change in what is happening, and I was thinking as football stakeholders, obviously you're not happy with the state of affairs, right?
Yes.
Why don't you maybe pia nyi mkuwe na agency wenyu sasa muoccupy hizi vitu zote nye mdai, mna make sure like the change nye mnataka mna bring it, the reforms.
Sasa kaa kuna mali kuna division kwa hii Kenya yetu kwa football. Football hakuna unity kabisa.
Why?
Football kuna sijui niseme watu tunanunuliwa tuko that cheap, so utapata you have something unataka kusema kidogo, ushaingizwa box,
ushapewa kitu,
ushaingizwa box. Sasa tuseme kama mimi ndo nilikuwa ule blogger na pinga umsemba, ikifika kesho tena mimi ndo namsifu. Unaona? So okay, maybe Gen Z pia tupangie side yetu pia, maybe akinini tajoin hands. So tunaomba tu akimalizana nchi watukumbuke. Juu football AFCON inakaa lazima tupeleke team strong.
All right. And you know your story, especially I'm talking now about the academy at a very young age, and of course very early stage of your career. Already uko na academy up and running, naona majezi ni kalikali, naona paka pale, yani mnakaa tu wase mmejipanga sana. So mimi venye mmeni-inspire, let's say, alafu najua pia labda kuna watu wengine pia huko nje wanaweza kuwa kwa inspired na unataka kuanzisha kaka academy, Dominic Glow kama hii yenyu, siri ni gani? Nini imefanya keep up the momentum and trajectory up to this point? So nini imekuwa the success factor kwenye?
Siri kwanza ni lazima kuwe na watu wako in the right sense of mind. Watu wanapenda hiyo ball. Leta watu close na uweke mlango wako ikuwe open for anyone. Any ideas. Ukijiweka ati wewe ndo mwenyewe unataka kulimit atunda kuiran peke yako, you will never. So hata kama ni ule junior coach kwa timu yako, mlete karibu, akupea na feel hivi. Kuna ile kitu anaweza taka kusema idea yake inaweza kuwa perfect but utakuwa unaidharau. So mlete karibu, mwambie msikize. Then kitu ingine ni hawa watoto wote, whether kama ndo ule wako pro, kama ndo ule wako mwenye una feel bado, hii ni katu class. Kwa class kuna ule tuseme atafeel ako down, si ndio? So kazi yako kama mwalimu ni sikumleta feel na wengine. So ni kumleta saa zote ku encourage. Then kitu ingine ni sense of belonging. Penda hiyo stuff yako kama life yako, life and death. Jana zasema hiyo ndo kitu metunini, but useme success sino, wajua mtu ajua kiatu penye namfinyia. So sino wajua wenye unasema ati ukiona the pictures unaona ni kama life iko mzuri.
Life is good.
Life is not good. Tunaficha tu na smile.
And now kuficha hizi vitu na smile. and like the support system, like what keeps you going, like nani ana nini anatoa kitu ingine mzito sana ku make sure everything inaenda, like do you guys have sponsors when you wanna sponsor the team, nini support system ya team ni gani, like this academy iko anchored on which pillar?
Anza sema support system yetu ni wazazi wetu. Hii success yetu unasema the journey yote ni hao wamekuwa frontline, so like tukiwa tuna shida wamekanga tu like at least unajua kuna shoulder unaweza lean on, so wazazi wote wa Millennium mimi naweza sema ni asanteni kwa hiyo support yote mmekuwa mkitupea mpaka sasa. So unaonanga hatuna the sponsor which hata tutatafuta, ukisikia kuna mmoja usihesitate kutu mention, but sponsor tutasema sponsor ni wazazi wa Millennium.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now sasa nataka to transition to another very interesting conversation. Now the secondary schools game.
Yes.
And of course it's sad, but first of all let me just say congratulations until penye mulifika.
Thank you.
But talk to me about now the secondary schools game, and of course you being the head coach of Olympic High School, and now that tumeona a lot of transition, tumeona the dominant names like Dagoretti High School now wakizimwa na some emerging teams, and of course it will be very funny and interesting that the finals ama tukienda pale the national finals pale mbele, maybe those names zenye tulikuwa tumezoea kuona the likes of Wakinashidi, Shandarema, maybe now ni big names or other names those zina emerge. So the competitive of this secondary schools game, how would you describe it?
Nasema teams around you zimechange. Na napenda ni kama the school heads wameona the value of these school games, wakaamua kusupport macoach, which is perfect. Napenda when umesema Dagoretti kuwa knocked out na emerging teams. That emerging team was my school, Olympic High School. Yes. Ilikuwa hectic. Kwanza tuseme the Nairobi part of it, the journey imekuwa unaanzanga like hata hizi small teams najua.
Ala, before we talk about the journey, first of all, how does it feel to knock out first runners up, a very dominant team, and not only in Nairobi region but of course in Kenya? How does it feel? Just how special was it that moment for you and of course your boys?
The feeling was mutual. Ilikuwa feeling poa sana. Na tuseme anybody mwenye alikuwa na jani yetu tukianza watoi wetu, trust me, kusikia tumefika hapa hakuna msangai believe. Nobody. Ilifika mahali penye hata si wenyewe hatungeza believe in ourselves. But kafika tu mahali we started to instilling the belief in the kids mind, akakuja tu step by step. So ndo tujipate na Dagoretti. The kids had one task, so surprise number 1 was Kibra sub-county. Tukapiga defending champs Upper Hill. So we are like, hey, we won. Okay, let's celebrate. So tukitoka hapo tuliwaambia like just make sure you win. Ukiwin jani yako regional enda kwa rahisi. Perfect, they won. The regional ndio inatoka fixture, tukajipata hapo tuko na Shama and the host Moi Forces. So Shama, we knew their game plan, we knew everything about them. So Moi Forces knew in our mind but we didn't know them, so we were like, oh, maybe ni wanajeshi, so tamenyana tuna wao. First game Moi Forces, daka 20 minutes we are down 1-0. Wow. tukangangana. Second half, called the boys, talk to them. Game, at the end of the day, we won. Next game, Shama, that was like a derby. Tukapush, we won. So tukaambia, okay, ndo tushinde hizi group stage. The kids were told like, being that the tournament ilitoka everything, they had one thing in mind, just win the games ndo barabara yako to the final ikuwe easier. But so jo unasemanga tu hivyo, but unajua back in your mind, these are like every sub-county in Kibra, everybody is bringing their best. Not in Kibra, in Nairobi, everybody is bringing their best. So technically kwa regional hakuna ule mnyonge. They won. Tukapatana hapo round of 16, we had Hospital Hill, which another big dog in the industry. Nobody believed in us. Won 6-2.
Kufinya.
Compenda class. Next, Waylight, another big one in the industry. Kila mtu amekuwa. The emergence of highway ilitoka because of downfall ya Waylight. So Waylight ni wale wakubwa. Na the last time tulifika in that level, Waylight ndio iliad kututoa. So tukamenyana, won 2-0. Wikaona, we are winning. Kumbe we can do this. Next, ndo hiyo Dagoretti High. So which was kesho yake. The kids were like, okay, hapa na tunakufa nao. Hata nini. Tumework hard kuwa in this level, yenye hatuwezi achilia hapa. Game ikakuwa tight. Kupush. Unfortunately, last minute, Mungu ni nani. Bao yetu ya mapema, tukamaliza shughuli.
Mapema ndio best. Kakafungia hapo.
Dagoretti High, back to class. Sisi hao finali. So moja tukabaki tuangalie jani yetu penye tulitoka na venye timu yetu ilikuwa. Na tunajiona tuko finals Nairobi region. Penye ilifika hata nobody, hakuna msailea mimi na tungeisema ati utajua Nairobi regional finals itakuwa highway and Olympic. So tuseme against highway naye kitu ilituwai ni concentration na over excitement. So tulifunga bao ya kwanza in the 42nd minute na nikawa watu wetu walikuwa carried away, waka concentration ikapotea kidogo. So nikawa liona venye ilifanyika Dagoretti High itafanyika na highway. Na highway in terms of quality you can't compare with the Olympic. Highway cause watoto wengi wa Islando wanacheza div 2 hizi div nini. So nakuja side yangu, mse wangu anacheza level ya juu, anacheza FKF County League. Ule na anacheza DKPL. Kuna mtu kama Rocco Humphrey kwa Kariobangi Sharks KPL. Then mimi mla anacheza the highest ako. Ukiangalia coach wao ameshinda tu league na Kenya Police Bullets juzi. Under CAF. Then kuja kwa Olympic High, coach wao ndo emerging coach. Unaona? So kidogo pia quality, but sema yon ka excuse. Nile tu concentration na vijana pia the stage walikuwa na stage fright, but ilikuwa good feeling. Na I believe yon pia kitu tunafanyika kwa hizo areas zingine. Juu ukiona out of 8 teams that were in national last year, all of them are out. So inamaanisha at least kuna sense of competition in emerging Kenya, which is perfect. At least tuanze kuwa na new faces. Nasemanga kidogo kila mtu apate. So acha upya round ya onje, next achi mwingine pia jaribu.
Now that competitive, now tuki reflect sasa to how maybe the future will look like in terms of these players. Remember in the last year tulikuwa na emerging stars like the likes of the famous one Andren Kibet. Tukona like he was really a shining star there.
Yes.
And tukona like enyewe in these school games talent inaweza kuwa bred and big names inaweza tokea out of this. Now do you think probably maybe this is now the silver bullet yenye tumekuwa tukimiss, because when you talk about now the international football, the competitive football, a generation of young footballers, the next Michael Olunga, yes, Victor Wanyama, even though ako very young, but the Gor Mahia striker Then we have the likes of Tito, Okelo. Do you think probably now system like this, maybe this the game changer, and maybe for a long time tumekuwa tukitafuta?
Hii inafaa ikuwe the game changer. Si ati tumekuwa tukitafuta, inafaa ikuwe hii. Juu ukiangalia the Olunga umemention, Olunga alitoka from sizi game 2 za shule. Alishine pale akanini Titis Kakamegai, au ukiangalia Joseph Okumu Kakamegai. Haya, angalia Kelly Madada, Shanderema, Mark Shaban, Benson Omala Kisumudei. Ona Alden Kibet ndako Spain. Hii talents zinakuanga mingi hapa. Kitu ina happeningi ni hatujaipata the person, the concerned people wanataka kuja kuwatch hizi nini. So when unaisema tumekaa kwa mind ati these ones belong to these people, so unaona kama ule hayuko, there's no need for you to come. Naweza sema napenda kitu coach wa Bidco anafanya. That guy is that good design yenye as long as you are a school team unamwomba friendly, atom abrupt, imagine atakupea. Atakupea. Unaona? That's different from many of the KPL teams. Ato amekubali atakungoja na anagaramia in every logistics. Wewe tu bora ulete wachezaji. Utafika upate referee shalipwa. Ati kuna nafaa mtoe nusu kiwanja ishamalizwa, so ni nyinyi tu kuingia kucheza, then after game kuja motivate the kids. The same thing Leona Kakamega Homeboys pia inafanya ile side ya Western, giving friendlies to every school team in Kakamega. From that wanapata chance ya kutap in players from those schools. Kuna talented people wengi sana, but you must work hard at ufike kwa hiyo stage yenye watu wanakuja kuona ndo upate hao watu. What if kuna wewe alitoka na sub county na najua ball, hata yonwa lini wezi kama utaki kuja. So lazima kuja kwa hizi game, tuma watu kwa hizi game, you will see watu ni wengi, talent ni mengi Kenya. Juu tuna mess let's stop recycling players. We are recycling a lot. Tukuna watu hapa, bring these emerging stars. Utaona tu venye the future of Kenyan football itakuwa perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
And talking about the future of Kenyan football, when you look at compare the performance of Harambee Stars, and of course tumekuwa na the emerging stars, the under 23 team, and you could tell that even when you watch the way they play, the way they dominate matches, and you could tell that now there's a team, because a team can compete, score very amazing goals, beautiful goals, very wonderful assist, and you could almost tell maybe with the time when efforts imewekwa pale, support system ile mzuri imewekwa pale, then probably inaweza kuwa the team for the future. And now in as much as tunaongea about now the success of these teams, and umetupatia a very good example of your own team, Olympic, and yes, you are up against a very experienced coach, and of course this is a coach mwenye ame lead many teams. Alikuwa na Harambee Stars, akakuwa Harambee Starlets, I beg your pardon, akakuwa na under 20 women under 20 team, na tukaona what she can do. Sahi ana lead one of Premier League teams, still women Premier League teams, na aka win the title. So this is a very experienced coach, and of course probably maybe is it fair to say sometimes pia good leadership and experience pia na help to bring the best out of players?
Ina help a lot. Kwanza naweza sema napenda kitu coach Beldin anafanya hivi. Juu unaonanga yeye amework na most, unapatanga hizo team mingi za Eastlands kwanza sana Karobangi, anazanga sacrifice time yake aende a coach. She was part of Karobangi Sharks youth team, a coach. Ukiangalia most wachezaji kama wa hivi most utapata alikuwa nao under 10 under 15 unaona. So technically anajua these kids in and out unaona, anajua in and out, anajua this kid can offer me this in this period of time which after that anajua nafaa kuchange. The maturity part pia nasema pia mimi see ati I can't bring the best out of them.
And actually I was coming to you. Umetake a team and ume bring to that level. Ume knock out so many big teams with, you know, very reputable standards, and you may live in this secondary schools game. And I'll say, like, you're still very new in this field, but the one thing that ili work kwako that many other coaches wanaweza probably maybe learn and borrow from you, what is that one thing yenye ili work out kwako? And do you think maybe probably it's about time pia tupatie the young people chance ya kudeal with the young, chance to nurture the young stars, so that maybe we can now try and, in as much as we talk about the transition, pia tuna transition with the right coach, the right mindset, and of course the right set of players. So what is that one thing and you probably una think like it'll work out so well kwako and can take your team even to the finals of the Nairobi regions?
Football is changing. That's a fact. Football is changing. One thing we can always do is we need that transition. Transition very fast. Design yenye ndoone Belia anajita modern coach. Ndoone Belia anajita modern coach. That's a fact. So ililemea kama the great Sir Alex Ferguson alividia waje juu kulikuwa na emergence of kina Pep Guardiola. Arsene Wenger aliwacha, angalia hata Mourinho sasa hivi yenye namchachia. Unaona, football is changing. Ile walikuwa natumia kitambo is different from now. So nasema sasa football iko more involved in science yon kwa Europe. Ukuja kwetu siku hizi tunafunza drills zingine more complicated yenye watoto ndo wataelewa. Unaona, so ile hata kwa sana kitambo ati game za chuo tu bora uko na defender atapiga long ball, ule mwingine achukue, sijui uko na ule striker mrefu. What for? Mimi nadhanga niko na mtu wangu mfupi, niko na watu wangu kama wafupi 10, waanza cheza hii kitu, waanza nikimbizia wase warefu. Sawa, kaende. Then one thing always yenye nasema kweli ni wakia sana, nilieka they believe na kwa hiyo mind ya watoto wote. They started believing that we can do it. So every step, so kaeka tu chukua kila game one by one. Achana ule atio ndaka ule we work hard utampata yaki work hard side yake. So na ile winning mentality, so nili make sure nime pump the belief na winning mentality kwa akili yao design mpaka hata nawatishia. Ati msipoenda national round hii na itafanyika, msipoenda fanya hii round hii na itafanyika. So they are like, okay, so if I don't do this is going to happen. So unajua tu kwa akili na threaten, but they must find a way ya ku make sure ime work.
Okay. Now even as we wind this particular very amazing discussion, well, nataka nikupatie at least maybe 1 minute TV for you for your closing remark and a few shout outs here and there. But before make sure in that shout out, nataka to just one message from you for this Beldin Odemba. Yes, alikutandika akona experience katai kukushinda, lakini one message yenye unataka kumpatia yenye maybe next time ukimit ni nini hiyo ungependa kumwambia?
Mimi nasema Coach Beldin, mimi nakuanga huge fan wako, nafuatilianga na napenda kazi unafanya kabisa. Unaona ni kama in terms of chenye nafanya na the age aspect napenda kuwork nayo ni kama na ni motivate. Pia mimi ukiangalia most napenda kuwork na the younger age. So napenda kazi anafanya na napenda kuambie at least next time kipatana I'll need to learn one or two, being that yeye ni CAF A holder. Motivating and learning from her won't hurt. Yeah, so nasema ni last year tulipatana tukapelekana akaemerge victorious kwa penalties. This year tuseme nikaa nimedowngrade kidogo, alinipiga kwa the 90 minutes. So maybe majali wa next year acha saa pia motivate kijana saa acha yendo saa emerge victorious. Nasema but napenda kazi yake for real. Me yeye ni mentor a lot. Tuseme hapa Kenya I don't have much coaches when you like a lot, but for real in my list she's one of them. Napenda kazi anafanya.
Okay.
Yes.
So salamu hivyo nyumbani.
Anasema true shout out kwa basi wangu wote wa home. Kuna hiyo national team which is wanaludo wote. Captain aliniambia atakuwa tuned in. Sadiki, every player wanaludo, shout out to you. Najua the list is long. Team iko na 270, taja 270 wote hapa. Maplayers wangu wa Olympic High anasema tu shout out kwenyu wote. Venye tuli agree the back don't stop here. Next year we have something we need to work on na lazima tu achieve. Wazazi wangu wote wa Millennium venye najua sasa mko tuned in kwa wote, nashukuru the support mnatupea. Ni muendelee tu hivyo na mtupush. Then lastly Mama Fred na Baba Fred siwezi waacha na familia ya kina Fred.
Okay. Alright, so asante sana Frederick Ochieng. Ni Onyango, sorry. Yes. Frederick Onyango. Millennium Soccer Academy founder. Yes. And of course head coach wa Olympic High School. And of course umetuma salamu kwa Millennium, but mimi nataka nitume salamu kwa Gen Z. Ulikuwa umesawa hapa, so nimekumalizia. Anyway, so we come to an end of this very interesting and amazing discussion about nurturing young talent at a very grassroots level, from young tacticians like Frederick Onyango. And of course it has been quite very amazing and intriguing discussion that we have had here. And of course we'll endeavor to have such discussion. So we are taking yet a very short break, and when we come back we'll be diving into other stories and of course discussions that we have lined up for you.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audiovisual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Repossessing your property, intellectual or material. This Monday on KUTV News. Against all odds.
Especially my mom, she actually believed that I was bewitched.
We will be looking at a story of one Joyce Musyoka who ditched her insurance profession and started her own natural oil processing company from scratch.
After my boss realized I was quitting, his first reaction was that, Joyce, you are either very clever or very stupid.
Join me, Emma Mwangi, as I explore Joyce Musyoka's journey in business. Don't miss Profession to Passion this Monday at 6:30 and 9 p.m. on KUTV News.
Get ready to embark on a journey into the exciting world of technology as we uncover the latest trends, interview top thought leaders, and dive deep into the world of tech like never before.
Currently, we are facing the challenge in terms of finance. It requires one to move from different counties because we really need a large data set for our model to be more accurate.
In this new and exciting series of the Technovation Show, join me, Yvonne Kimuma, every Monday 8:30 p.m. for a fun and thrilling experience as we explore the cutting-edge developments, meet visionaries driving change.
Somebody who is in the underground mines doesn't know the presence of those gases. So there are a lot of gases involved. There is methane, there is carbon monoxide, and there's also hydrogen sulfide. These gases actually, they are very dangerous and they're very toxic.
And discover the endless possibilities of the tech world.
Right, welcome back, and now this is the last segment of this On the Spot show. So remember, we have seen a lot of teams very busy in this particular transfer window, and tunataka tu kujua timu yako iko aje, kama wako busy in the market, wanajaribu ku sign in players na ku release some. And of course, this particular week, one team has been very busy in this transfer market. I'm talking about Manchester United. Remember, this is a team that in all fairness wamepoteza wachezaji wengi sana, so it's fair for them waende market, wasign some new players. Majina zingine pia ni very funny, but kelele yenye tunasikia huku nje tutaona venye watakuwa wanafanya. So the first one, so let's take a look at Bayern Munich, of which wamekuwa make silent moves. So remember, they signed one player, then right now wameongeza another one from Tottenham Hotspurs, that is Eric Dyer from Tottenham Hotspurs, and this is the latest signing from Bayern Munich. Eric Dyer, remember, this is a defender from Tottenham, now joins Bayern Munich. And of course, now from that end, we'll be moving to other transfers. Let's see who has reinforced their transfer market. So let's take a look at Manchester United and see who has Manchester United, of course, signed. We have first of all we have that is James Overy from Patch Glory, I beg your pardon. That is signee from Manchester United. And of course, Manchester United have been very busy in the transfer market. They have signed a lot of players in regard to this, just to try and reinforce their squad in this particular transfer season. And remember, we have the likes of Silva, Max from Ipswich. This is on a transfer, free transfer. Then we have the likes of Joshua Zachu from Bologna on a 36.5 million euros pound. Then we have Lenny Yoro from Lille. And of course, this is a team that has been very busy in this particular transfer market. We were expecting some big names, but ni hawa tu. And of course, we may release a lot of players. Remember the likes of Rafael Varane, wameenda. Anthony Martial, they have all departed. Brandon Williams wameenda, then Omari Fason wameenda, then Alvaro Fernandez, wengine hata tuko tunajua, lakini all they have been released. And of course Manchester City pia wako na the latest signee from this is from Girona. I'm talking about Savio Troyes. This is another signing in Manchester City. Wamesign actually the first signing of the season from Girona. And of course another signee, I think Leicester City pia wamekuwa very busy in the transfer market, and of course wamesign a couple of players. Remember Leicester City are known to be the feeder. They feed a lot of Premier League. If Manchester United wakiona very amazing talent there, they go. Or not Manchester United, Manchester City and Chelsea. You remember during their glory time, well, Manchester City went for Riyad Mahrez, Chelsea went for N'Golo Kante, and of course Leicester City wanajulikana to provide talent, and a talent hub, then clubs with big money wanakuja to feed. Same case with Leicester City in that regard. So let me tell you nani Leicester City wame sign, and of course Leicester City wako na Abdul Fatawi Abdul Fatau from Sporting Lisbon. That is the latest signee wa Leicester City. And of course that the latest signee Liverpool haven't really done much this particular signing. I'm trying to look at other signing from Leicester City, and of course we have Bobby Doka Tova, that is Bobby from Fulham. Yeah, Bobby from Fulham, that is another signee and Leicester City may bring in. That's good. Then we have Michael Goldin, that is another signee from Leicester City. Then we have Caleb Okoli. Caleb Okoli ametoka Atlanta, well, with undisclosed fee. And of course those are at least 4 signings from Leicester City this particular transfer window. And of course remember, we'll see more signing from some of the teams. And another team, well, Arsenal, the only thing that Arsenal have done is to formalize the transfer of David Raya from Brentford. Then maybe Liverpool, up to this point, none at all. So those are the latest signing. Remember, and of course this is just subject to change now that Euros is done and dusted. Team are now regrouping to try and marshal their numbers to see who will actually to see areas that they can improve, who to sign, so that they can just put themselves in a very advantageous position as far as next season is concerned and compete for this particular title. And of course that is where we close it at this particular point as far as the signings are concerned. But before that, a pretty one. I know time is not on our side, but we have something a bit about the England coach, the profile. Just remember, the question of our day is about what do you think? Do you think maybe Gareth Southgate has achieved something in England, some of his achievement? And it's fair for me to bring you, just to give you his profile, and of course just to bring you up to speed with what to expect. So in his managerial career, he has coached England under 21 and of course the national squad, the national senior team. Under this, it's fair to say he has really tried. He has tried, especially with the under 21 team, very quite improvement, progress there. Then the transition, he transitioned now to take the mantle of the senior team from 2016 all the way to 2024. Then from there, out of those, he has come close. Remember the 2018, we remember him for taking England to the at least semi-finals of the World Cup. In 2022, it was quarterfinals, then two Euro finals back to back, but none of which he really managed to pick something out of that. So to answer your question, has Gareth Southgate achieve anything with England team? Well, the question is pretty obvious. None there. And of course, so that is the question of the day. I don't know if you have similar or you have contrary opinion to that, but that's how it is. So up to that particular point, though, that is where we leave it at this particular time. Many thanks for the men and women behind the scene, for those who made this production a success, and of course for you, our esteemed fan and viewers, for always keeping us a company in the last 1 hour and 15 minutes or so. My good name is Auma Evans. This has been On The Sport Show. Till next time, do have a lovely weekend.